Listener discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the I Should Totally Be Dead Right Now podcast, where we tell true stories of survivors of true crime, natural disasters, and everything else in between.
Woo!
Yes. So,
Here we are.
We're
a little out of sorts because
Yeah.
Caitlin just got preyed upon.
I did.
If you will. She
Red
got
flags.
A hella scary call where a guy wanted her to do maybe some,
Voiceover.
a commercial.
Yeah.
But turns out it was like tickle porn. So that's
Yeah.
gross. And
Yeah.
we had to deflect his attack.
Yeah. My gosh, it's creepy.
Yeah.
Because the last time I talked to this dude was like 3 or 4 years ago, and I answered a post. Don't say that. I answered a post about a voiceover for a commercial. I'm like, I can do that. I have a microphone and whatever. And he wanted me to do come in and either
tied up.
Yeah, and tickled, or me tickle someone else. And I'm just like, no, never mind. That's okay. I can't do it. And it's been years, and he just called again on an unknown number, and he wouldn't give the phone number, because you answered for me, because I was sketched out anyways.
So, ladies, Caitlin trusted her gut,
Yeah.
and we told that guy to F off.
Yeah.
Or nicely said, no, she's not around, and then hung up.
Yeah, bye. That's why you don't answer unknown numbers. If it's important, they'll leave a message. That's the thing. That's what I learned. If it's important, they'll leave a message. Don't answer posts unless you have, like, their full name, contact info. I was naive back then, ladies.
No more.
No more.
Fuck that guy, man.
For sure. So now that we are safe, what?
Check, marked safe from tickle torture predators.
Yeah. Ugh.
Barf. Yeah, that's a big barf.
It is. And, like, his phone number wasn't available, and we couldn't ask his phone number.
He refused to give it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just not good. Anyways,
But I got offered a commercial.
Yeah, you got offered too.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I need 25 girls. Are you in? No, sir. Thank you. I'm not.
No. Anyways.
I could have been a star.
Of something.
My God. Never mind.
Okay. What are we drinking?
I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Apple Prosecco Punch.
Ooh.
So it's a bottle of Prosecco, some vodka, which it was like, I don't know, maybe a third of a bottle of vodka is about what we put in. And then, granted, this is for a punch bowl, you know. So the Prosecco, the vodka, and then a whole bunch of apple juice and some fresh lemon juice. Yeah. And it ended up being
really tasty.
Yeah, it took a second to get
into
it because it wasn't very appley. It was much more lemony.
Right.
But now it's just refreshing and delightful, and I've been drinking the shit out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's really tasty. Yeah, it's not as appley as I thought, but it's still really tasty. Yeah. I like it a lot.
I think it might be really good with maybe cider instead of just apple juice because it might be a little stronger apple flavor.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I could see that for sure.
I don't know. I'm down with it. It'd be perfect for a little spring punch or something like that, or a little Easter get together.
Yeah.
I may make this at Easter. We'll see.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. All right. Well, we apologize in advance if you hear an airplane. They're like doing testing. I don't know. They're coming coming like every 5 minutes. But okay.
But we will persevere.
Yes. And okay.
So you got a story for us, huh?
I do, and I'm gonna say this already. It's controversial.
Okay.
So
intriguing.
It is, and it's triggering. So
my word.
It can be triggering.
Well, I don't get triggered by much. I'm trying to think of what I get triggered by. Maybe tickle torture, but
we're already past that. So you came out okay. So if at any point you feel uncomfortable, we'll just
skip to my story.
Yeah, skip to Michelle's story. I'm sure it's delightful.
It is.
Okay, good.
It's not
sad or
no.
Okay,
it's fine.
Good. Okay. So this story is about Bobby Stevens.
Bobby Stevens. Okay.
And
is Bobby a girl or a boy?
It's a boy.
Okay.
It's kind of a famous story, so you may know it as I'm talking about it.
Okay.
But so
probably not, but that's okay.
It is December 13th, 1993.
Oh.
And we are in Aurora, Colorado.
Okay. Aurora, Colorado.
Yes.
December 13th. Is it a Friday the 13th?
I don't know. So Bobby is 20 years old, and he's working at Chuck E. Cheese as a cook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bringing out those pizzas like crazy. All right.
So, a man named Nathan Dunlap, he entered Chuck E. Cheese at 9 p.m. before it closes at 10 p.m.
Okay.
He ordered a ham and cheese sandwich, which why would you do that at a Chuck E. Cheese?
I know. I want some pizza,
yeah,
yo.
Isn't that what they're famous for?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I didn't even know they made ham and cheese sandwiches.
I didn't know that either. Anyways, and he played a game or two. He was actually fired from that location a week before.
Oh, so they knew him when he came in.
Right.
Okay. So that's how he was able to order the ham and cheese off
Probably.
the secret menu.
I guess so. So he actually, at 9:50 p.m., 10 minutes before they closed, he hid in the bathroom. And when it was 10:05 and the doors were closed and locked, he came out with a 25 caliber semi-automatic pistol. And he first shot Sylvia Crowell, a 19-year-old who was cleaning the salad bar.
Oh.
She was hit in the right ear, and that took her down.
Is she alive?
No.
Oh.
Well.
So she got...
Well, no. I mean, at this point, she's still alive.
Okay, but she's on the ground having just been shot in the head.
Yes. Then... Ben Grant, a 17-year-old who was vacuuming, was shot near his left eye, and that was a fatal shot.
Oh, Ben, I'm sorry.
Colleen O'Connor, she was 17. She began pleading for her life on her knees, and he shot her on the top of the head.
Oh my God.
I know. I'm so sorry. Okay. And
God,
then...
Could you even imagine just going about your life?
Like you're a teenager. You're in high school.
In any scenario. Yeah. And just... having someone just come in, and I can't even fucking imagine.
I know.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so he then moved to the kitchen, and this is where Bobby was because he was a cook. He was actually coming back from a smoke break. He heard all the noise, but he thought it was kids popping balloons nearby.
So well, your brain tries to sort of...
normalize it.
Yeah, come up with a story that will... rationalize what you're hearing.
Yeah.
And so, oh God.
So as he walks back in, Bobby was shot in the jaw and he fell to the floor. Anyways,
I appreciate the warning, Caitlin.
Yes, I know.
Story needed it.
Yeah. Lastly, he made Marge Kohlberg, she's 50 years old and the store manager, to unlock the safe. So he's not only killing everyone, he's also trying to rob them as well.
Oh, I wonder what his motivation was. Do you talk about this?
I do.
Okay.
Once it was unlocked, he then turned and shot her in the ear and started to take the cash. Once he saw that she was moving, he shot her again in the other ear, and that was a fatal shot.
Oh.
Bobby was conscious but played dead.
Good job, Bobby. I would do the same.
That's why I hear a lot is people playing dead, and
then they just get walked over.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, they're still shot. I mean, they still could die. I couldn't even imagine. Okay, and then...
So Bobby's on the ground.
Yes.
Marge, is that her name?
Yes.
Is unfortunately
passed away
next to the safe.
Yes.
We have someone else who's passed away, or is everyone else still alive?
No, Ben and Colleen are passed away well. So once the shooter left,
what did he get, like $300 or some bullshit amount?
He got $1,500 plus he took some game tokens for the games.
He did not take fucking... That guy can kiss my ass. Oh my God.
Terrible. So, once he left, Bobby was able to get himself up and run out the back door. He walked to a nearby apartment complex and pounded on a door to call for help.
Oh my God. Did they open the door?
They did. Yes. So, Bobby and Sylvia were taken away to the hospital, but the next day, Sylvia passed away from her injuries.
Oh. Sorry, Sylvia.
The police were able to arrest the shooter 12 hours later at his mother's apartment.
Oh, good Lord.
Bobby had to have reconstructive surgery on his face.
How do you think he rolled home? It's like, hey, Mom, I'm home. Just ignore this gun that I've got. And
I don't know.
All the blood that's on me. Like,
I have no clue. Like, I don't know how I don't know what to do as a mother either. This whole thing sparked a bunch of debates, discussions about gun violence, the ease to get them, and mental health as well.
Yeah. The
community held vigils, businesses increased security, politicians made speeches, and this all went on for months. Bobby stated, "It seemed like all of this was a big game. It was a political circus." As Bobby was physically getting better, his mental recovery was a lot longer.
Oh, I bet.
As he was at a shopping mall, he could not shake the feeling that someone was there to shoot him. And then he watched everyone's hands as they passed him, watching for any sudden movements.
Oh my gosh.
Another time he was at 7-Eleven and a kid out front overinflated his bike tire and it popped and he went to the ground. Bobby tried to move to Arizona, but still was getting recognized from all the press.
Oh gosh.
So you just couldn't escape his past.
Oh, what a nightmare.
So he ended up trying to take his own life.
Oh, Bobby.
But was unsuccessful. The shooter was charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder, attempted murder, robbery, and theft.
So is he in jail forever?
So he was sentenced to death.
Good.
And this is where it gets interesting. Okay.
Is this the controversial area that we're rolling into right now?
It was, I believe, around 2014, 2013 in August when he was supposed to be put to death.
Okay.
But the governor gives him a reprieve, which places his execution on hold or kind of a state of limbo. Like he's still sentenced to death, but not yet.
Do you know why the government or the governor decided?
Governor, that's what was the most irritating part. I watched some interviews with the DA, and he said he just didn't know. He just didn't have he didn't think it was right. Or, not right, he just didn't know what to do in that situation, I guess. Because, was it only 4 cases? Or only one other person had been set to death in Colorado?
Oh, so okay, in Colorado.
Right, yeah.
Not just like
he didn't really have, so the governor couldn't give a straight answer. He couldn't give a straight answer why. Just, that's why they were so frustrated. He just didn't know. I have some
theories that, and I won't get into them, they involve money and whatever.
Oh, maybe. 6 years passed, and it's still in a state of limbo. The new governor had no announcement about how the case was going to be handled. That is where we are now. So lawmakers introduced a bill to repeal the death penalty. If it passes, it wouldn't make them not be put to death, but the governor can commute. Is that what it is? Commute?
Yeah, I guess so.
The governor can commute the sentence to life in prison instead. So he can change the sentence since the bill is passed.
Yeah, I have a lot of different feelings about the death penalty. Right. In fact, I was adamantly against it when I was younger because I felt like it had such a negative psychological effect on the people who actually had to put the people to death.
Right.
Like, essentially, you're making someone into a murderer.
Right.
I have since kind of gone back and forth.
Right. It is a difficult subject. Yeah. I fight with it too. Like, it's hard. In February 2020, so this year, Colorado did pass a bill to repeal the state's death penalty, and it is the 22nd state to have done that.
Okay. I'm okay with people rotting in jail forever.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, I feel like it probably costs a lot less than all the appeals for the death penalty that they get and all that bullshit.
Well, yeah, the shooter he used all his appeals and he still had the death penalty. So that's when it was scheduled. But yeah, so the governor now, I read an article, the governor can now change those sentences to
life in
prison at any time. There's 3 death row inmates right now, and Nathan is one of them.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll wait and see. Maybe we'll do an update once we find out. But as of right now, nothing has been said. But the bill has been passed.
Yeah, most likely he's just going to rot away in jail for the rest of his life.
Bobby states that death is an appropriate punishment for him, an eye for an eye. But he does want to respect the victims' families, who not all of them are in favor of execution. Bobby would be relieved if Nathan gets life in prison because then it's finally over. Although anything short of execution seems unjust just because that's what the legal process ordered in the beginning. So now that they're taking it back, it's just...
He's feeling like that's not quite fair.
This case has been over 20 years. And this case...
Oh, God, when was it again?
1993.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I guess so, huh? Yeah.
So the shooter has been in prison for this whole time.
So he must have been kind of one of the first shooters, if you will.
Yes, because... Again, Aurora, Colorado, that's when the 2012 shootings happened in the theater.
Oh, yeah, God.
But now, Bobby lives back in Colorado Springs, and he's raising 4 boys.
All right, good job,
Bobby. So he does
Bobby.
have a family, And the last thing I knew, it was 2012, but he was a landscaper. So I don't know if he still is or not, but he does have 4 young boys. So,
right. Well, hopefully he can get over the PTSD. I can't even imagine what that's like.
No, I could not even imagine either. Because, like, you're not safe anywhere. Like,
no, exactly. I mean,
so
you
crazy.
were at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, for kids.
You know,
so Nathan was fired from there a week before, and over scheduling issues, I guess.
Okay.
And then before he left, he told an employee that he was going to get even. The manager that fired him was not there at the time of the shooting. So he just did whoever was there. I think
he kind of went above and beyond the, getting even.
Yeah, so that's where the controversy is, because the shooter's background, he had a rough childhood, he committed suicide a few times. It's like, it's hard. It's a hard balance of, gun control, mental illness. Like, it's just, that's what's hard too.
It is hard. It's like, and who knows what the right answer is.
Yeah, exactly. You can never take someone's life.
Listen, boys and girls, this is what you do when you get fired. You go home, maybe get a little bit drunk that night, and then the next day you apply for new jobs.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what you do when you move on with your life.
Yeah.
And maybe stay friends with some of the people that you enjoyed working with.
Yeah.
But all those other people can fuck themselves, but they don't need to die.
No.
So
they don't.
That's all I'm saying. Don't go anywhere and shoot anybody.
Yeah, it's terrifying. Like I said, it could happen anywhere. And that's the saddest thing, is that you just never know.
God, if I was a little bit more agoraphobic, I would never leave the house. I leave the house on scarce occasions as it
to come to this podcast.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, you said when you went to the store, you were horrified. When you went to the store
I know.
today.
Well, all these kids are coughing all over everything.
Coronavirus is a big thing right now.
Yeah, I needed to take my mom to the doctor, and I did not want to do it just because who knows what you're going to see in there, and all these sick people. And
so I know the justice system can take a long time, because as a victim advocate, I have to tell victims that, like, it doesn't take that long. I mean, it takes a long time.
Yeah,
not like on TV.
Overnight.
Yeah, it's not like TV is like boom, 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 arrested. No, there's a bunch of factors that happen, and I've been on cases for over a year. So
that would be frustrating to be a victim, and just I was listening to one of the other podcasts, and it was like all this shit happened, and he got like 3 years or something like that, and it's like, it's so infuriating.
Right.
It's like, this guy destroyed my life.
Yeah.
It should be much more.
Well, it's hard when it's so long, because it just keeps reopening those wounds. Like, they have to,
talk
keep
about
hearing
it again,
about it. Yeah,
and listen, describe it all again, and relive it over and over.
Yeah.
And,
so it makes it hard.
Yeah.
For sure. But hopefully Bobby, it sounds like he's happy and healthy now. I'm sure he still suffers.
No shit. I'm sure he does too.
Yeah.
It's like these poor people, kids who were sexually abused, that shit fucks up their whole life.
Yeah.
It's like,
developmentally as well.
Yeah. No,
it
screws up your brain. Like,
sad.
Assholes.
All right. I'm hoping
I hate all you predators, you motherfuckers.
I hope your story is a bit...
I think mine's maybe a little bit more heartwarming.
Okay, good.
If you will.
We need that right now.
Yeah, I would say. Good Lord. My God.
As I was writing the story down, I was just like, this is definitely more
This is rough.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm going to have to do a warning beforehand.
Yeah.
Because we haven't covered a mass shooting before.
No. Well, at least it wasn't like Sandy Hook or something.
Right.
That is so traumatizing.
That is. We probably won't touch that one.
I want anyone who says it's fake to just kiss my ass.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's awful.
That's the dumbest thing. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I'm going to take us to sunny San Diego.
Ooh.
Yeah. We're in May 15th, 1941. So I'm taking us back a little bit. All right. So this story is about Walter Ossipoff, who will now be known as Walter.
Okay.
The rest of it. He's a sandy-haired 23-year-old Marine. He's a second lieutenant from Akron, Ohio, and he boarded his DC-2 transport plane for a routine parachute jump. So 9:30 in the morning, he gets on his plane.
Okay.
And it's going to just do some routine exercises.
Why?
He's just part of the military.
Oh,
and
I
it's
see.
Just,
okay.
Yeah, sorry. And it's just it's exercises that they do to get prepared for whatever is to come.
Okay. So this wasn't the first time he's done this?
No. Actually, he has 20 plus jumps under his belt at this point. So he's pretty experienced parachuter, if you will. So there's 2 other guys in this story that we'll forget about for a little while, but I'll kind of describe them now. So there's Bill Lowry. He's 34, and at the time that Walter was heading onto his plane, he was in his own plane, a little 2-seater observation plane. And he was out flying around.
Like, do they watch him jump? Is that why?
No, he was just doing his own thing.
Oh, I see.
So, and he'll come into the story later.
Okay.
And then we have John McCants, and they have a husky 41-year-old from Jordan, Montana. I love that they called him Husky in the story.
All right.
Sorry, John. He was checking an aircraft that was scheduled to fly later.
Okay.
So that's what these guys are doing. So Walter was a seasoned parachutist.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the correct word, but I'm going to say
sounds nice.
He was a former collegiate wrestler and a gymnastics star.
Oh, so he's like physically
fit.
Yeah.
23. He was probably at the height of his physical prowess. I don't know if that's the right word.
Sure.
I feel good about it.
Yeah, okay.
So he first joined the National Guard and then later the Marines in 1938. So we're in 1941 now. Okay. And by now, like I said, he's had over 20 jumps under his belt. So that morning, Walter took off in a DC-2 plane. And that's like a transport plane. I guess it's like the old silver planes. I don't know if you remember, but... Well, not remember, but maybe seen in movies or some such thing.
That sounds nice.
So he was going to supervise practice jumps by 12 of his men.
So he's leading it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And part of this exercise is they were going to throw parachute overboard supplies. So they had these canvas bags that were like shaped like a big cylinder filled with ammunition and guns. Oh. So that they were thrown over. So it's like if they were in wartime... they'd be all set and practice them on how to get the people on the ground more supplies. Right. So 9 of the men had already gone off or had already done their jump, and Walter was about to throw the last canvas bag of supplies off the ship. Right. And as he was doing that, somehow... Off the plane, yes. What did I say?
Ship.
Oh, God. I'm sorry.
Ship. It's okay. No.
This is what's that. Don't smoke pot, kids. That's what happens. Oh my God. So he was standing near the door of the airplane, throwing out of the airplane the last cargo that he had. And somehow his released chute, like the handle to be able to release your parachute, got wrapped around the cargo. So as he threw it out, his parachute got pulled.
Oh my gosh.
And so he's standing in the plane still. And so he tried to grab all this billowing silk that was opening up, but he couldn't. The next thing he knew, he was being jerked out of the plane and up against it. In fact, he hit the plane with such force that it ripped a 2.5-foot gash into the side of the aluminum in the fuselage of the plane. So he hit the side of the plane hard. Whoa. And so during that time, hang on. So instead of the parachute flowing free, it got caught on the wheel of the plane. So
he's lucky he didn't get he just gets sucked into the propeller.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I know.
That's what I was thinking. Oh my gosh.
So his chute is wrapped around the wheel. And now he's wearing, the parachute like a backpack. So, and it's a harness situation. So he's got 2 harnesses around each leg, or, harness around each leg and then around his chest. And so the ones on his chest broke, and the harness that was holding his legs, one of them broke. And then the other one slipped down to his ankle. Oh, so he is literally hanging on to this plane by a cord around his ankle.
Oh my gosh, that's terrifying.
And then one by one, 24 of the 28 cords that attached the backpack to the parachute snapped. So it was like snap, 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 snap. So now only 4 of those cords are still attached to the plane.
Right.
His parachute is around the wheel, and he's hanging on by his ankle. And he is about 12 feet below and 15 feet behind the plane. Just flapping in the wind.
Oh, my gosh.
Just hanging on.
Oh, my gosh.
So he can't even, like, his hands are useless at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just by 1 foot hanging on.
Wow.
So he was dangling upside down. But Walter had enough presence of mind to understand what was happening to him. So he knew he better not pull the cord for his emergency chute, because he felt like he would just get ripped in half, because he had the plane pulling him one direction, and then his emergency chute would have pulled him in a completely opposite direction.
Oh, okay.
So so
there's nothing he can do.
He's flying behind the plane.
Whoa.
And so the guys inside the plane are trying to scramble to get him up, but they can't reach him.
Right.
And they realize they can't land, because if they land, he's going to get completely
oh my gosh, like dragged and like, okay.
Smashed to death, essentially.
What do you do?
So, and at this point, he had, the plane had no radio contact with the ground. So I don't know if
why?
They just didn't have that. I don't know the reason why. They didn't say it in the story. So
maybe because there's like routine things, so they didn't need to hook it up,
or I'm just wondering, maybe they didn't have the technology yet. Because
we're in the 40s.
Yeah,
I guess. I don't know.
Maybe I'm not sure what was. I probably should have looked that up, but I didn't.
That's
so
fine.
Sorry, guys. So at this point, he's hanging by 1 foot. He's spinning and bouncing, and all he knew was his ribs hurt. But what he didn't know was that 2 of his ribs were broken and 3 of his vertebrae were fractured. So
from hitting the plane so hard? Wow.
Yeah, tearing a gash in the plane. I fucking hate that word, gash.
Gash.
I don't know why.
Yummy.
So, as I said, inside the plane, they were all trying to struggle to bring him to safety, but they couldn't reach him. And the plane, now running on fuel, realized it couldn't land, so they're like, what the fuck are we going to do? We can't contact the base. And so what they did is they went down to 300 feet and started circling the base. And so just to try to get somebody's attention.
Okay.
And so all these people looked up and figured they were running some sort of target practice, because they just figured it was a target flying behind the plane.
So they want to throw stuff at it? Or
I know, just start shooting at it or something.
Oh my gosh.
So they just ignored it. And because they're like, that's just a target. This is obviously a routine thing. No big deal. And so one of the guys that I mentioned earlier, Bill Lowry, he had just landed his observation plane.
Okay.
And his plane was a
2-seater.
Yeah, a little 2-seater, like Indiana Jones style, where it's like the propeller plane, 2 seats. And there's no, it's open cockpit. Oh, okay. So there's nothing above them or anything. And so he landed, and he just was walking back towards his office, and he was walking by this guy named John McCant, as I said, who was getting ready to set off on his own flight. They both kind of look up, and they're like, that's a man up there. What are we going to do? So Bill turned around and yelled to his mechanics to get his plane ready to take off again.
Oh, okay.
John joins them, gets into the back. Bill is our pilot. He gets in the front, and they pretty much tell the tower that give us the green light because we're taking off. Yeah. And fortunately, someone sort of had the wherewithal to drop a big hunting knife into John's lap.
Oh.
The passenger of this observation
Well, that's smart.
flight. So,
what were you supposed to do if you didn't have a knife?
I know. Well, we'll see.
Well, yeah, okay.
So, Bill and John had never flown together ever. They were just sort of knew each other on the base, but they had never actually worked together.
But they do, both of them have flown before.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes. But they knew they were about to attempt the impossible.
Right.
So they didn't really have a plan, but they just took off. What they did is they took off, and then they came level with the other plane, who was at 300 feet, just circling. Mm-hmm. And so they matched speed and kind of got close to poor Walter, who was bouncing and spinning off the back. But because they were over land and they were so low, it was really turbulent. So it was just too rough for them to try to, it was like bouncing around so much that they couldn't get him. So they tried 5 times to get up there and get close enough to try to rescue him.
Right.
And they just couldn't.
Oh, no.
So, and these guys have no radio communication between planes. So they're trying to use hand signals to tell them to go somewhere else, to head over the Pacific, because when you're over an ocean, it's much smoother air, I guess.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Which is like why you fly to Hawaii, there's almost no turbulence.
Whereas
really? You fly to
never been.
Colorado, going over the Rockies.
Right.
It's like tons of turbulence.
Ugh, gross.
So they decided they went over the Pacific and went up to 3,000 feet. So instead of 300 feet, now they're at 3,000 feet.
Oh my gosh.
And Bill brought the plane up to match the speed of the DC-2. So they're going at about 100 miles an hour.
Oh my gosh.
With this dude still just hanging by his ankle.
Whoa.
They get over the Pacific, and what now the challenge is to get under Walter without getting him with the propeller. Because there's a propeller up at the front, and he's bouncing around, and so they have to try to also sort of bounce around to match him to be able to like get underneath.
That's crazy.
So they end up sort of...
It had to be perfect.
It had to be perfect.
Yeah.
So they came in kind of from the side. So he was sort of over the wing, and then they brought the plane underneath him, and then John in the back seat is standing straight up. I mean, they're going 100 miles an hour, 3,000 miles up, and the guy in the back is just standing. It's probably got to be freezing at 3,000 feet.
Yeah.
It can't be warm. And so they get just underneath him, and they get close enough, and John lunges for him. And so he's able to catch him around the waist, and then Walter grabs him around the shoulders, and they're just like hanging on for dear life.
Okay.
And so Bill, who apparently is the most amazing pilot on Earth, is able to fly close enough to the other plane where there's a little slack in the rope. So John is able to grab Walter and bring him down into the cockpit. But unfortunately, the cockpit is made for 2 people only. So they have nowhere to put him. So they end up like laying him over the fuselage with his head in John's lap.
Oh
like,
my
that's
gosh.
the only way they can get him to fit. But now they have to cut him away.
Right.
And John is holding on with both hands in a vice grip, hanging on to him.
Yeah.
So he has no free hands to like cut it.
Okay.
So Bill, obviously being the most amazing pilot ever, cuts it with his propeller. So he manages to get it just right where he cuts the fucking parachute with his propeller, cuts those cords.
Walter could Walter not hang on back?
I think at this point he's almost lost consciousness. They also saw they were close enough to see he was bleeding from his helmet. So he's bleeding.
Okay, he's just weak. He just can't do anything.
Yeah, I mean
he's
been
tossed around
for like the last 30 minutes off the back of an airplane.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, makes sense.
So they're able to just barely cut the cords.
Yeah.
And actually they ended up cutting, they nicked the other plane with his propeller, and there was like a big 12-inch gash in the other plane.
Oh.
But what it did is it freed the parachute, and then the parachute drifted down and landed onto Bill's rudder.
His what?
His rudder. So the thing that makes you be able to kind of steer and stay stable as you're flying through the air.
Oh, shit.
So now he's got to try to land with a parachute caught up in his rudder.
Yeah.
A man hanging off the side of his plane and needs to try to make it to safety. Which he did.
Okay, so...
No, so he was able to land and sort of roll to a stop.
Okay.
And actually at this point, that's when Walter lost consciousness. So, but not before he heard everyone like clapping for him and everything. They rushed Walter off to the hospital where he ended up spending the next 6 months.
Whoa.
And then Bill and John pretty much hung out and then went back to their normal duties right after lunch.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
They were all set.
Yeah.
But 3 weeks later, they were both flown to Washington, D.C., where they were awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross for executing one of the most brilliant and daring rescues in naval history.
That's awesome.
So, as I said, Walter spent the next 6 months in the hospital.
Yeah.
And the following January, he was fully recovered and newly promoted to lieutenant.
Wow.
And he went back to parachute jumping.
Oh.
So...
I don't know, man.
So even 80 years later, it is still considered one of the most daring feats in aeronautical history. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad this hasn't happened again then.
No, yeah, no shit, man.
That's crazy.
Could you imagine being stuck by a fucking foot?
No.
I'm amazed the foot didn't have more damage, or, I guess it was just the broken back and ribs that he had to recover from.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. I mean, I've never been
skydiving. Oh, yeah.
I would go skydiving, though.
I would not.
So, if I had someone with me, like the
tandem
instructor,
jumps?
Yeah, I would do that for sure.
I would not.
No?
No.
Why?
There's no fucking way.
Because of that?
Well, that didn't help.
Right.
That is for sure. Then, if that was going to happen to anyone, that would straight up be me. Like, what does this do? And then I hit it, and next thing I know, I'm sucked out of the plane and hanging off the back.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Skydiving, I guess I'm just so not an adrenaline junkie.
Right. No, yeah.
Like,
I'm
not
not really either, but I mean, I feel like I could enjoy it. I don't know. I like roller coasters. I know it's totally different, but...
Yeah, I like roller coasters too. I can do roller coasters, but...
I've done the little, the slingshot thing.
Oh, no, never.
Like, they sling you up in the air.
The ones where half the people pass out on it?
Yeah.
Hard fucking pass. God.
No, that was fun, but it was, of course, it's Oregon, so it was a little rainy, so it was like, pop, 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 like all the rain hitting my face. So I'm like, this wasn't a good choice to do at this time, but it was fun.
It just seems so scary. I don't know.
I don't know, it was cool.
A friend, Elizabeth, she was telling me she went skydiving, and she's, I think, in her 60s, and she was saying the worst part about the whole thing. And she went up, and there was, duct tape on the plane, and all kind. I mean, it was like a sketchy-ass plane. But she said the worst part is they videoed it, and all she could see is her whole face flapping.
Oh,
and that would be my thing. It's like, oh no.
Well, Ashley and Reggie, who both have been on this podcast, they went skydiving.
Did they really?
Oh, I don't know.
Fuck it, let's go.
They had to sign waivers. Like if they died, they wouldn't sue or their family wouldn't sue or something. Like that. I don't know.
Hard pass. I would sue. No, skydiving is not for me.
I don't think Nicholas would do it. I would, though.
I would watch from the bottom and be nervous the whole time.
Okay.
But
would you make me a cake that says, you did it?
No. I'd be like, maybe one that says, you're a dumb bitch. That's it. I'll give it to you beforehand. Okay. Just in case.
Just in case.
I informed you thusly. You should not have done that.
Oh, okay. That's good. Sad. Well, this episode has been, been up and down.
It has been. It's been all over the place. It started with a creeper
call
and tickle torture. Had an awful shooter story. Sorry, Caitlin, but that was devastating.
I know, it was.
And then we had a heroic rescue.
Yeah, that was good. That's a good one to end on. I hope you're all feeling better.
Well, what I liked about it is they just got in the plane and went. Like, they didn't even think about it. They didn't come up with a plan. They didn't ask for permission. They're like, fuck it, we're going.
Yeah.
I like to think that would be my response instead of one of the other guys like, they're doing target practice. I'm going to go back to my work again.
Yeah, that's weird.
That would have been me because my eyesight's not great.
Well, me too. I have to wear corrective vision, so I'd be like, that's cool. But
delicious drinks.
Yeah, and we had to reschedule because the whole
we're all over the fucking place today.
We are all over. But no, this is good. It ended well, so feel good about that.
And Bobby's probably kicking ass in his life now.
Yes. All right. So we hope you enjoyed this episode. It's been a little up and down, for sure.
I don't even know how to respond to it anymore.
I don't know either. But so check us out on Facebook and Instagram at ishouldtotallybedeadrightnow. You can email us at ishouldtotallybedeadrightnow@gmail.com to say a survivor story that you had that we could read on the podcast, or
a drink suggestion.
Oh yeah, that'd be good too.
Or constructive, only nice things to say. I was gonna say constructive criticism, but I don't really like criticism.
Right.
So really,
just compliments.
Just compliments.
Okay,
that's all we're gonna read.
All right.
Anything mean, I'll just ignore.
All right. So there's that, and then Is there anything else I say?
No, God.
Okay. So yeah. Check it. We may have a Patreon soon. Coming soon.
Yeah. So
check.
Yeah.
I guess I'll
subscribe the shit out of that. And...
Yeah, because we're thinking about doing this weekly if we do it well. I'll see. Okay. Anyway. Okay. No. Just
this is just too much.
All right. All right. Bye.
Bye.